Let me describe a couple to you and tell me if this sounds familiar. They're both working professionals. She's in marketing, making $62,000 a year. He's in IT, pulling in $71,000. Combined household income, $133,000. That puts them in the top 25% of American households. They should be crushing it. They should be building wealth, maxing out retirement accounts, taking nice vacations, feeling financially secure. Instead, they're stressed. They're living paycheck to paycheck or close to it. They've got maybe 2 months of expenses saved up, and that's being generous. When their car needed an unexpected repair last month, they had to put it on a credit card. They both work full-time, sometimes more than full-time. They're exhausted. They rarely see each other during the week, except for a few tired hours in the evening. And the craziest part? They've done everything right. They got the degrees, they got the careers, they got married, combined their finances, bought a house in a decent school district. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. So why does it feel like they're drowning? Why does a household making over 6 figures feel so financially fragile? If you've ever looked at your combined income and thought, we make too much money to feel this broke, this video is going to make a lot of things click into place. My name is Bobby, and I spend way too much time thinking about why 2-income households are often worse off than single-income households from 50 years ago. If you're someone who's working alongside a partner, both of you grinding, and you can't figure out why it still doesn't feel like enough, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Here's the thing. We've been sold this story that 2 incomes are better than 1. It seems mathematically obvious, right? If one person making $50,000 can support a family, then 2 people making $50,000 each should be able to support that same family and have an extra $50,000 left over for savings, investments, and building wealth. That's just basic addition. Except that's not what happened. What actually happened is one of the biggest financial bait and switches in modern American history, and almost nobody talks about it. The term for this phenomenon is the 2-income trap, and it was coined by Elizabeth Warren, yes, that Elizabeth Warren, back in 2003 when she was still a Harvard bankruptcy law professor, long before she became a senator. She and her daughter, Amelia Warren Tyagi, wrote an entire book about this after studying over 2,000 families who had filed for bankruptcy. And what they found was genuinely shocking. Having 2 incomes didn't make families more financially secure, it made them more vulnerable. It made them more likely to go bankrupt, not less. Families with 2 working parents were actually more likely to file for bankruptcy than single-income families. Let that sink in. Working twice as hard, bringing home 2 paychecks, doing everything the modern economy told you to do, and you end up more likely to lose everything. That's not a personal finance failure, that's a systemic trap, and you're probably standing right in the middle of it. Let me take you back to 1970 for a second, because understanding the history is crucial to understanding the trap. In 1970, about 43% of women participated in the workforce. The typical middle-class family had one primary breadwinner, usually the father, and one parent at home, usually the mother, managing the household. And here's what most people don't realize. That single income was enough. Not just barely enough, actually enough. According to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and Census records, a median single-income family in 1970 could afford a median-priced home, spending about 25% of their income on housing. They could afford to put their kids in public schools that were reasonably well-funded, regardless of neighborhood. They could afford basic health care, a car, food, and still have money left over for savings and the occasional family vacation. They had financial margin, they had breathing room, and critically, they had a backup plan. If something went wrong, if the primary earner got sick or lost their job, the stay-at-home parent could enter the workforce. That second potential income was an insurance policy, an emergency reserve that could be activated if needed. Now, fast forward to today. Female workforce participation is around 57% and much higher among married mothers specifically. The 2-income household has become the norm, not the exception. In over 60% of married couples with children, both parents work. We've essentially activated the emergency backup plan as the default operating mode. And here's where it gets really interesting. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median household income in 2023 was about $74,000. Adjusted for inflation, that's significantly higher than the median household income in 1970. We're making more money than our parents and grandparents did. But look at what happened to costs. Median home prices in 1970, adjusted for inflation, were around $200,000 in today's money. The median home price in 2023? Over $400,000. Housing costs have literally doubled relative to inflation. Healthcare spending per household has increased by over 600% since 1970. Childcare, which barely existed as a major expense in the single-income era because someone was home, now costs the average American family over $11,000 per year per child, and that's the average. In high cost of living areas, you're looking at $20,000 to $30,000 per child annually. Education costs for college have increased over 1,200% since 1980. The fixed costs of being a middle-class family have exploded, while wages have merely crept up. And all that extra income from the second worker got absorbed, every single dollar of it. The two-income family doesn't have double the financial security of the single-income family from 1970. They have less because their fixed costs expanded to consume both incomes, and they burned their backup plan just to keep up with